So you want to master the art of discipline. In this video, I'll be talking about 5 segments that are holding you back from your potential power. I'm going to start by pointing out the most blatant reason why you're stunting your own growth and why you aren't as disciplined as you can be. It starts with your phone and the apps that are on your phone. Scrolling through social media endlessly for hours, mindlessly, just engaging in content and instant gratification. The first step is to realize the time you spend just on your pastime on your phone isn't just time that you're spending, but it's what you're investing in. To begin, evaluate the apps that are on your phone. Do you use them regularly? Are some just there for habit? For example, when I still had Instagram and Snapchat or whatever, I would go on my phone and I would look at Instagram, and then a few minutes later, I go to Snapchat, then a few minutes later, I'll go to Twitter. It's just a habit that I don't even know why I'm doing. It's subconsciously I'm doing it because I am bored. There's no reason for me to be doing it. I don't really want to go in these apps. There's no reason for me. No one texted me. So then why am I going on these apps? Because it's been implanted in my brain that when I'm bored, I have to go view these apps and I have to look at all the content and engage in it. So identify the apps that are actually providing value to your life. Whether it be through learning or education or productivity, there are apps that do so, like for example, Notion. Maybe you have Google Docs. Maybe you have a classroom app that you use to learn whatever you're trying to learn. But be very aware of the apps you have, whether you have to delete it, such as what I did. I deleted most of my social media, or you have a blocker that blocks you off at certain times and doesn't allow you to get back in. One of the blockers I used to use was called Opal, but I didn't like to buy it, but it was very good for my productivity. But this can only be done by you admitting that you have a social addiction. You're addicted to the social media apps that are on your phone. And whether you say, oh, I'm just using these social media apps for learning purposes, like for example TikTok, they give very good information on the algorithm, but the thing is that you're scrolling past all the garbage to get that one educational video. There was a study actually done where they put rats or mice in a box, and every time they press the button, it's not guaranteed that they get cheese, but because it's on a random cycle, they get more dopamine because of it. So they'll press the button once, nothing would happen. Twice, 3 times, then they'll get it. And every time it's changed. Sometimes they press it once and they get cheese. Sometimes press 10 times. This is the same thing when it comes to TikTok. You have to swipe through how many garbage videos that are supposed to lure you in to get that one piece of education. And sometimes when I catch myself scrolling, all I do is just scroll really fast and I'm like, what am I doing? It's just, you're not even really paying attention to the video. You scroll 3 times and you probably forgot the video you just watched. All you have to do is just ask yourself, is this really what I should be doing right now? Is this really productive? What am I gaining out of this? Be conscious of your actions and what you're consuming. You have to break the habit of cycling through content, the toxic habit of cycling through just for the sake of doing it, just to pass the time. Once you cut this out and you realize you have a problem, that's when you truly develop self-discipline. When you realize, I really shouldn't be doing this, and you get off and you go do something productive, that's when you start actually gaining the proper self-discipline to improve yourself. And remember, you don't have to be on the phone all the time. Embrace your boredom. Embrace the moments where you don't feel bored, because if you're bored, you should be doing something productive. If you're not doing anything productive, then you should be doing nothing. There is no time to search up on Instagram the new latest trend or whatever. It's just a waste of time. What do you really gain from it? In a week, you're not going to remember. It's not going to affect your life. If anything, it causes more anxiety to people's lives. It causes more people to be depressed by comparing themselves to other people. And people say cope by saying, I'm just learning what's going on in the media, what's happening in recent media news. But if it's not affecting you, if you don't care, then what's the point? So I really want you to consider at least deleting your social media apps. But maybe you're not going to do so. Most people aren't going to do so. So if you're not going to do that, at least just have a timer for your apps. And once that timer goes down, you can't access those apps anymore. And if you really need to communicate to someone or whatever, then you should have just been more careful of how you used your time. The next thing that really distracts people and steers them off self-discipline is the notifications they have. There is no reason for your phone to be pinging every 30 seconds. There's absolute no reason for that. All that this does is just, it distracts you from the work that you're doing, and it takes you out of the flow state that you're in. When you're working, at least have a do not disturb option where no one can contact you, no one will disturb you, you're just focused on your work. If you really need to, while you're in your deep work, put your phone to the side and let it sit there. Don't even look at it. Just put it away and touch it once you're done your work and you completed the actual action you wanted to do. You have to also be very mindful of what you're doing. Pay attention to the little things that you're doing. Why are you doing so? Why do you feel this way? What makes you want to do this action? What's making you relapse? Why do you want to waste your time? Ask yourself, why are you doing it? Is it because you're bored? Is it because you want instant gratification? What do you want? Once you can address the problem of why this is happening to you, you have to fix it and combat it by putting strict measures onto yourself and being very disciplined on yourself. A great way to break this cycle that I do is I ask myself, is this something I want as a long-term goal? Is this helping my long-term goal? If no, then why am I doing it? You see, every time I watch a TikTok video, is that really going to help my long-term goal? Maybe 1 out of 100 TikToks will help me. Maybe 1 out of 50, because maybe I'm learning a new software edit, how to use After Effects or whatnot, so I can make my videos better, or I can learn how to talk to people. Maybe I watch sales TikToks, but in between those very useful videos, it's full of garbage. You need to create your digital detox plan, and it may sound stupid, but you have to lower your dopamine. You're stuck on this high, always chasing. You wake up and the first thing you do is you scroll on TikTok. To combat that high, you have to do so much stuff that you wouldn't get in the regular life. It starts with TikTok in the morning, and then a high sugar cereal, and then playing video games for 7 hours, and then eating garbage and engaging in garbage and doing garbage actions. And none of this is aligned with your future self. This is just rotting your brain away. So whether you're gonna cold plunge into this self-discipline or you're gonna do it gradually, you have to do it if you want to be better. You can't be the average person while doing extraordinary things. If you're doing extraordinary things, you'll by default not become an average person. Now let's say you deleted a few apps, you deleted Twitter, you deleted Reddit, you deleted Facebook, but you still have Instagram, for example, right? But you put a timer on it. You still need to do more things. You still need to do a couple more steps to make sure you're disciplined. And one of those things is unfollowing accounts that are going to distract you, that you know distracts you. So for me, it's those stupid meme accounts that would post half-naked girls every now and then, and their promotions were ass and the memes were just stupid, and it makes you laugh, and then you swipe and then makes another meme page makes you laugh. And I unfollowed all of those to cut all distraction out. I unfollowed all those stupid celebrities, most of them I don't even align with the way I think. Unfollow all of them. The useless people that you don't even talk to, just unfollow these people. There's no need to have them. It ruins the way you act and how you think. So this is actually a big part of what I was talking about, and it's also very important. You see right here I have the book called Atomic Habits. It's a very good book, and it talks about how you should be accountable for your actions and how your habits can change. Even if it's just 1% change each day, eventually it's gonna start off small. The 1% will start off small. You will see small changes to your life, and then you'll see outcomes, like positive outcomes from you getting more lean. Maybe you're starting to work out, you're eating healthier. You just started by drinking more water, then you started eating a little more healthier. You start with the 1% and you see how it snowballs, and it's going to grow exponentially. You see, when you put 1%, 1%, it goes like this. It goes up, 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 up. Whereas if you do 1% worse each day, it's going to go the same thing, but a little more down. It's not going to go as fast up, but it's going to go down this way. Your habits start with your morning routine. There are many guys who wake up at 6 a.m. and they get everything done, but there's also people who wake up at 11 a.m. and then they follow their schedule and get all their things done. It all depends on what you put priority to and what you want to do. And most people wake up earlier because most people aren't up earlier. They get more work done, less distractions in the morning. They get up and they do the hard things first so no one can distract them, and then their day gets a little easier, but they still are productive throughout the day. What I've done to help myself with my morning routine is I've been setting myself to go wake up earlier each day. I used to be a very bad sleeper, wake up 2 p.m. or whatever during high school. Wouldn't even go to school most days because I was up playing games and I was just really wasting my time. And then I realized this is really rotting my brain. A year or 2 years ago, I'm like, something changed in me. I just didn't accept it. So I dragged it back. Okay, let's wake up at 1 p.m. Let's start working at 12. Let's start waking up at 11. Now I'm starting to wake up at 10 and I'm trying to drag that back till it's 8 and it's consistent, because I wake up, but as soon as I wake up, I get work done. I get all my work done. This is just a foundational habit. There's a saying that goes, a life is made of years, a year is made of months, a month is made of days, and days are made of the morning, how you start the morning. So if you have a good morning routine, you'll have a good life essentially. So going back to what I was saying about atomic habits, if you want to do something, let's say you want to read a book, let's say you want to start getting to book reading and you want to start attaining knowledge from maybe self-help books, for example. If you aren't a good reader, like myself, I hated reading because I would always find myself, I would read and I'd be like, what did I just read? I have to reread and then I have to do it again to understand what I'm reading. If you just want to start getting the habit to read, before you go to sleep, maybe just read 1 page for the week, and then up into 2 the second week, and then maybe 3, 4, 5, and take it gradual. Take notes while you read. Maybe that's what I did when I started reading. I started taking notes, so it's like, okay, now I know what I'm actually attaining from reading. Because if you're reading without extracting any value, you're really just wasting your time. It's just another way of, when you play games, you waste time, you have fun. It's the same way when you read a book and it's like, you're not getting any sort of value from it. You're just reading it to pass time. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. But me, I don't want to read and not gain value for it, because me personally, I don't even like reading in the first place. Research suggests that it takes 21 days for you to build a habit and takes 66 days for you to actually establish it and never break it again. So let's go back to the example of reading a book. If you read 10 pages for 66 days, not only is that 660 pages that you read, but that's also establishing that you are now a reader. And that's just the beginning. You can start reading 10 pages a day, but if you want to read more, just take baby steps. If you want to become more fit and you say you want to run for 30 minutes straight, start small. Start on the treadmill, start getting in shape. Make sure you're setting yourself up for success, because if you just go, I'm gonna read a book in a day, you're gonna burn yourself out and you're not even gonna benefit from it. If I read a whole book on my first day of reading, like properly reading, if I read the whole book in the first day, I wouldn't gain any knowledge. I said, every time I'm gonna read a book, I'm gonna write down the most important things I took away from that book. So in the future, I can look back at what I was thinking. And every time you read a book, you come with a new mindset. You take more information than you did before because you have a new mindset. So it's all about perspective, and it's really just taking baby steps in the beginning to set yourself up for what you want to be, for who you want to be. Your habits really shape who you are. Building habits is an art form, it's science, and it's also your journey. You see, it's just discipline and consistency, and how you achieve that is totally up to you. And it's very simple. If you want to eat healthier, get rid of all the candy and garbage in your cupboards and in your kitchen, and maybe start putting fruit bowls on the table with fruit in it. And maybe if you want to start working out more, you want to go to the gym, lay out the clothes you're going to wear in the morning to go to the gym, so then you're prepared, so you don't have to think about it and, oh, maybe I don't want to go. It's too much of a work. It's too much of a hassle to get up and find clothes to wear. Lay everything out, set yourself up. Do the steps that are going to set yourself up to follow the habits and to stick to those habits. This segment truly shapes who you are, and it's choosing who you hang out with. Choose your circle wisely. I could talk about this topic for hours, really. It's so blatant as me, as a person who traveled from South Africa all the way to Canada. I've moved schools probably 7 times, 8 times. I changed cities, I changed countries, I changed a lot of... I experienced a lot of engaging with people and being friends with different people and in different groups, and how I act in different situations. It's very obvious that the people you hang around with is really the people who are going to shape you. If you hang out with 5 people who know everything about cars and they love cars, the chances that you're going to like cars and at least know something. You're going to know what a transmission is, you're going to know what a fender is, just the basic stuff at least. But you're probably going to know more than the basic stuff because all your friends are car enthusiasts, and you're probably going to go on them to look at their cars, help on their cars, talk about cars. You see, now imagine you like surround yourself with millionaires. Just 5 millionaires, because there is a quote that says you are the sum of the 5 people you hang out with. So if you have 5 millionaire friends, you would obviously become the 6th, because especially if you're a man, you love competition. And if everyone around you is healthy, they're fit, they got a 6-pack, they're a millionaire, you're not only going to learn from them, but you're going to challenge each other to be better, which is honestly a good thing. So if you hang around with people who are bums, who are clowns, they hang out on Discord all the time, they play games, they eat junk food, they don't have any connection to God, you're gonna be a worthless scum, really. That's all you're gonna be. You're gonna have no true meaning of life, and you're gonna be depressed. And you're gonna wonder why you're depressed, but you have to see who you're surrounding yourself by. And those people, they want you to indulge in your bad habits. You see, they really don't want the best for you, because if you start to do better for yourself and you start working out, they're gonna look at you like you're weird. Why are you reading books? Why are you a nerd? Stop reading books, stop going out, and once you start getting success, they start getting mad at you and jealous and start saying, why are you doing this? You're weird. And the reason why they do that is because you're not validating their excuses. They have excuses, so when you show them that, hey, we're from the same place and I'm making it good for myself, I'm in good shape, I'm making money, my mindset's changed, they're gonna feel attacked by it because you're invalidating their excuses, because maybe they've been using their race as a reason why they're broke. Maybe they've used their weight and their family situation to excuse why they're overweight. So it's like, if you're doing better, the people who you're hanging out with, you have to be very careful with, because they could actually want the worst for you. So be very wise with the people you're surrounding yourself with. Don't just choose anyone. Have high standards for friends. I have high standards for friends, and I've very little, if no friends at all, because of my standards of being that high. But that's not a bad thing, because I just want the people around me to be better so they can help me improve myself. I want people to be on my level, if not better. I want people to push me and motivate me. And I always have good encounters with people, and I have a lot of acquaintances, and I talk to people, but the people who I spend my time with, genuinely, just whenever I have free time, those people need to be good people who really push me to think differently, but maybe push me to be healthier, be more active, make more money, be truer to God. Just have someone that's pushing you to be better every day. You can't always rely on yourself to find a reason why you have to keep pushing. You also need people around you who's going to help you to keep pushing. You're going to need people around you to help you on your journey. You need a good mentor as well. You need someone to help you find the ropes and explain why this is better than that and why you shouldn't be doing this, because there's an explanation to everything. You have to find those people who are going to push you and who's going to guide you. And on the topic of mentors, you don't have to learn everything from yourself. Learn from others. You see, smart people learn from their mistakes. Smart people learn from the things they went through, their personal journey. But smarter people learn from what others have done, others' mistakes, what they've done. Having a mentor and people who will help guide you is the best thing you can have. You see, if you're doing self-discipline, you shouldn't learn everything on your own. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Just follow what other successful people have done. Imitate what they're doing. There's probably someone out there who's achieved what you're looking for, and they had to go through their own obstacles. They had to go through similar challenges. So just listen to those who are successful. Stop listening to the teacher who barely makes $50,000 a year, who's trying to trap you. Really, they're just giving you advice that they're taught by another education system, or from the political side of things, or whatever. They're just regurgitating information that they don't know. There's a reason why they're telling you, you should go do this, you should go to university, you should believe this, you should read books like this, you should learn like this, you should study like this. They're telling you how to do these things, so you're programmed. And it's not their fault, because they're programmed too. They never got to live their dreams out, so they're gonna put that insecurity and like project it onto you. So you may be thinking, oh, where can I get a community? Where can I learn from people? Where can I engage in people who are like-minded like me? If you truly have no one in the real world to have those experiences with, where maybe, look, I can connect with people, or maybe we talk about God and stuff, or maybe we talk finances and stuff, and I agree with these people, and they help push me in those ways, and they mentor me in the way of finance, they mentored me the way of spirituality. But if you have no one, start by finding online communities. There's many online communities that they have the same vision as what you do. And make sure you contribute to the discussions, you engage with the people, you build connections with these people, because you never know if they're gonna help you on your journey. So if you're watching this, you're probably a person who may read books, for example, but just reading books isn't the be end all. You have to also push yourself to go to workshops, go to conferences, because through going to these live events, you get to meet people who kind of think like you, who are interested in the things that you are, and you can make connections and just network yourself. Just try to talk to people who are going to these workshops and these live shows and these conferences about finance, business, or whatever you're interested in. This is how you can truly make good connections with people. If you do read books, the main reason why you're reading books is for someone else's information, for someone else's guidance, because they went through the hard work, so that, not that you don't have to go through the hard work, but they're trying to make it easier for you. They're trying to share their experiences so you can have an easier time through what you go through. You see, a good leader, they're the people who listen to them and do the actions that the leader does. They'll do twice as much of their bad things and half of their good things. So if you have someone who's a really good role model, you're probably gonna end up doing some of the bad things that they did. You're gonna fall in the same kind of traps, and you're gonna maybe get stuck in the same ruts as they were. But if you have that person in your corner rooting for you, you'll be able to understand how you can overcome this obstacle. Keep in mind that self-discipline isn't a solitary endeavor. It's a journey that you make with other people as well. There's plenty of people on YouTube, plenty of people on TikTok, Instagram, whatever, that are going through the same thing and sharing their experience. Now, I did say delete social media, but if you're using, for example, maybe Discord to engage with communities and maybe talk to other people about your experience, then it's giving you more benefit than entertainment, which is essentially what you're looking for. This is how you master your self-discipline. And to end off these segments, the most obvious and the most important, I would say, is obviously setting goals. You have to have goals that you're setting to, because if you're not disciplined to your goals, what are you disciplined to? You're disciplined to what other people tell you, and you're going to do what other people say you should do, and you're just going to fall to peer pressure and conforming to society's norms and stuff. But you see, self-discipline starts with a vision. That's why you need a goal, or maybe a mind map, road map, whatever you need to see where you want to be in maybe 5-10 years, or maybe you don't even want to think 5-10 years. Where do you want to be in a year? Where do you want to be in 6 months? Financially, health-wise, intellectually, where do you want to be? and try to be disciplined to the goals that you set. You see, what I do to be disciplined to my goals is I make a little chart before I go to sleep every night, and I make sure that the next day I tick as much goals I set for myself to do that day. Because if I start with the small wins, I'm gonna get the big win in the end. There's an exponential growth when you do these small wins. When you make 1% better of yourself every day, you're gonna be an exponentially better person at day 100, at day 365. You need goals to answer your what, why, and how. What are you doing? Why are you doing it? How you're doing it? But out of what, why, and how, you need to figure out your why. If your why isn't strong enough, you will never be disciplined. Your why has to make you get up and moving. Your why really has to encourage you and get you to be the most disciplined version of yourself. Find what motivates you and what keeps you on your goals, because motivation is just the equivalent of having runner's high. You can have runner's high when you're running, you feel good, but most of the time discipline's what's going to get you to the end. Have motivation for the short term, but have discipline for the long term. Understand your strengths and areas you need improvement in, and you'll hold yourself accountable to those things. And every day you have to strive to achieve, to overcome these weaknesses of yourself, of these things that you may not do so well. Some people, they have a hard time to work out. They know they have to work out, they know have to eat healthier, but they won't because they don't have that discipline. It's harder for them. Whereas some other people, working out is fun for them. They like the pain, they like the growth. So find your areas of weakness and really try to overcome those obstacles. And watch videos, read books on how you can overcome these obstacles. There's so many people that have gone through the things that you've probably gone through. There's so many people who've maybe gone through obstacles that you're going through. So don't just do it by yourself. Don't go through your journey by yourself. Accountability isn't just about your individual success. You're trying to make the world a better place. By your accountability, you're making sure that you're accountable to your own actions. You're accountable to how you want to live your life. You're accountable to your goals. You're accountable to what you want to do. You're not accountable to your boss. You're not accountable to your teacher. You're not accountable to your co-workers. They really could mean less if you're succeeding in life. Anyways, that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.